The Australian dollar bounced from 5-month lows as Reserve Bank Governor Lowe delivered an optimistic outlook for the Australian economy. Early in the week, the Australian dollar dipped to 75.32, its lowest point since June. But on Tuesday evening, the Aussie bounced as Reserve Bank Governor Lowe spoke to business economists in Sydney. While noting concern over high household debt and slow wages growth, he was very optimistic on the outlook for Australian growth, particularly on jobs and business investment. Lowe concluded that while there's likely to be no change in rates near term, the next move in interest rates is likely to be up. Westpac continues to expect no change in rates over 2018, but markets are still pricing a 65% chance of a rate hike by the end of 2018. The main data release in Australia this week was Q3 construction work. The headline 16% rise was obviously very misleading, as it was boosted by the importation of liquefied natural gas processing platforms, which as imports actually detract from GDP. But the details were quite interesting too, very mixed in fact. We had a 7% fall in home renovation activity weighing down on the residential construction sector. But we did have a 6% rise in public infrastructure spending. But the Aussie dollar was only able to rise through 76 cents on Wednesday when the US dollar fell against all major currencies. One factor driving the US dollar weakness was the FOMC minutes from its November meeting. These revealed caution over the outlook for inflation. And we also had some caution from Fed Chair Janet Yellen. She said that while the basic view was that inflation would return to the 2% target over the next 1 to 2 years, she was, quote, very uncertain about this. Markets continue to virtually fully price a Fed rate hike in December, but are very uncertain about 2018. Pricing is split between 1 and 2 rate hikes with about 65% chance of 2 hikes, compared to the 3 rate hikes that many Fed officials are talking about. Australia's calendar is quiet in the week ahead until Thursday, when we see the third quarter business investment spending survey. So we'll see the actual spending for the third quarter, but also a survey of business investment intentions for 27-18, which will be closely watched by markets and the Reserve Bank. Next week in the US, we hear more from Janet Yellen as she testifies to Congress. We will also see the start of the Senate confirmation hearings for her successor, Jay Powell. And also in the Senate, there may be a vote on their version of the tax bill, which of course is different from the House bill, but if passed, would set the scene for a few weeks of negotiations to reconcile the two bills. If the US dollar trades sideways after Thanksgiving and equity markets remain mostly upbeat, then the Aussie dollar should find support on dips towards 75.50, but on the top side is likely to run out of steam towards 77 cents. We'll speak to you next week.